The Jets got a ton of great free agency news over the weekend from the NFL Combine from Ian Rappaport, and we'll give you that. Plus, the Jets are expected to give, quote, the biggest offer to Dallas Cowboys offensive tackle Tyron Smith in free agency. Zooey mama! Zoinks! It is unequivocally the Super Bowl for New York Jet fans.
Field Yates, baby. Field gosh darn Yates. Let's bring him on the show.
Come on, people. Connor Rogers is joining the show. What's up, Connor? But Trevor gosh darn Sycamore, baby, for me, personally, my favorite New York Jet of all time.
Wow, it's great to be on. What an intro that was right there.
Paul, nobody does an intro like you, man.
Paul, you give the best intro of literally any podcast that I've ever been.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas.
Good morning, everybody. Paul Lesden Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcast. Just search for Boy Green Daily shortly after the program, and you guys could get that version as well. You can watch it live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, or rewatch on youtube.com/boygreen25. Let's get right into it. The first news that leads us to the second bit of news was from Ian Rappaport, who tweeted out on Saturday, end of an era. Cowboys All-Pro and Pro Bowl left tackle Tyron Smith will be a free agent and is unlikely to return to Dallas. Sources say the blindside protector since 2011. Smith will be highly coveted, juicy, very juicy. So him getting to the open market gives the Jets an opportunity to make a pitch. So number one, that's interesting. Then let's get to the headline of this very video. Okay, he's making it to free agency. Then what? Let's throw this one up on the big board from Jets reporter Nick Faria. Okay, here it is. Here we go. Booyah in response to a fan. This was Nick Faria on the Mike Evans thing. But there was also, he had another report. I pulled up the wrong tweet here. My apologies, folks. Let me see if I could get this one up quicker. But Nick Faria had two little tweets last night talking about both Mike Evans and Tyron Smith in terms of their aggressiveness for the pursuit. So sorry, guys, I had the wrong tweet up. But Faria said that the Jets should be aggressive in their money throwing around for Tyron Smith. Here's something. Let me see. Yeah, I apologize. What a big mess. I thought I had the right tweet pulled up, but I pulled up his wrong one. Anywho, he said that the Jets would be in on Tyron Smith and very aggressively is the gist of that tweet. He did say also, we'll save this one for Wednesday, folks, on the Mike Evans stuff. We're going to have Trevor Sycamore on the show coming up on Wednesday. So, and it's funny, we booked randomly real quick, the Trevor Sycamore thing. We booked that like a couple of weeks ago. So it's kind of funny that the Mike Evans news, happens to come out. That's kind of funny. So I'm looking forward to getting more in on that. But Trevor, we'll answer your questions, of course, throughout the show, but we'll get more so on Trevor there. Yeah, I'll pull that up in a little bit. But anywho, the point is that the Jets going to be very aggressive with Tyron Smith. And here are some key details on Tyron Smith. Okay, he's 33 years of age. He'll turn 34 in December at the back end of the season, just like Aaron Rodgers, who's 40, who will turn 41. And this is the move. Let me get into my take here. This is the freaking move for the Jets. Here's why. Right now, the Jets have two versatile pieces in Joe Tittman and Elijah Vera Tucker. According to Brian Costello, who joined our show a few days ago, he said everything he's hearing from the Combine is ABT is going to be a tackle. That's Brian Costello's reporting. So that solves one tackle spot. Now, technically, ABT could play left and right, but I think the most preferred destination for ABT is at right tackle. Okay? Then you say openly, the Shakespearean question, who will be the left tackle? Who will be that individual? In the draft, there's two individuals that stand out that could be a left tackle. You have Olu Vishanu and Joe Alt. And then there's a bunch of right tackles. There's some right tackles that could go back to left tackle. I saw some people throwing names out there, like one of the guys in the draft. Well, I haven't played left tackle since high school, but I'd like to get back over there. That's not exactly the guy, as me as a Jets guy, that I want to go back over there. So I'm thinking AVT right tackle, boop. I'd keep Joe Tippmann at center, boop. And then you have to obviously fill left tackle, left guard, right guard. For me, there's not a lot of great left tackle options out there. Certainly not in free agency, obviously, because the names are scarce. And then number two, in the draft, there's only two names. And if those two names aren't on the board when the Jets pick at 10, and let's say they don't chase Tyron Smith, I ask you, the Jet fan, to think, who is the answer at left tackle then? AVT? I don't know. Like that, but it's that squeamish nature of not necessarily knowing. Here's how you know. You sign Tyron friggin' Smith, baby. That's what you do. You push your chips in the middle of the table for Tyron Smith. Now, people say, but Paul, he hasn't played a full season since 2015, and it's fine. Injuries are a part of the game. There's no doubt about it. Anyone who reaches the open market, okay, anyone who reaches the open market will be somewhat compromised. There'll be some reason they're reaching the open market. In this particular case, it seems that it's a money thing, that the Cowboys and Tyron Smith chatted. Okay, they talked at the combine, the representatives, and the Cowboys number was here, and Tyron Smith's number was way over here, apparently. So then Tyron's like, well, I guess this ain't happening. So he's hitting the open market. And from what we understand, this number was floating out. I didn't see where this number floated from, but like 12-ish million a year per year. That's not bad at all. That's a fine number. And think about the Lakin money you created. You created 8.1 million just from Lakin alone. That's almost enough to pay for Tyron's salary this year. And that's if you straight up count it 12 and 12. You can also spread the money into future years. The point is, okay, my father, who's a diehard Dallas Cowboys fan, won't be happy to hear this, but I want to pluck the Tyron Smith fruit from the forbidden tree, because he is one of the best offensive tackles of our generation. That's how good this guy is. He's going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And no, this isn't just a career life achievement award where old players over the hill are coming to the Jets. That's not what this story's about. Tyron Smith was the number one pass protector last year by Pro Football Focus's grades. Number one on the list. He had an 88.6 PFF grade. That was number one in the NFL. Not number one for this, not number one for that. Number one in the NFL in pass protection was Tyron Smith. The Jets need to pass protect first and foremost for Aaron Rodgers. So he was number one in that category. So he is an elite, and he was a second-team All-Pro last year. He is an elite superstar offensive tackle when healthy. And then we say when healthy, which is an important point to note, he appeared in 13 of the 17 games last year. Okay. And he started all of them, obviously. Now, 2 of the last 4 years, he has had injuries that have not allowed him to play a full season. That was 2 games in 2020 and 4 games in 2022. But besides those seasons, and I know those are recent, so that's going to be in your mind. Besides those, here is Tyron Smith's start since coming into the league. 16, 15, 16, 16, 16, 13, 13, 13, 13. And then those 2 troublesome years sandwiched in between an 11 start year and a 13 start year. Folks, you just have to get the right temperature there. You have to get the right temperature where every free agent is going to have bugaboos. Naturally, that's just going to happen. Okay. Free agents are just going to have warts and reasons that people are not going to be for them or with them or whatever. But I'm telling you, this is the play. This gives you maximum flexibility in the 2024 NFL draft. If you go into the draft and you do not have an answer at left tackle, your only answer is a floating maybe AVT. That is not good enough. Other teams that want left tackles are going to be like, well, I'm not going to let Joe Alt slip to the Jets. Well, I'm not going to let Olu Fashanu slip to the Jets. That's where we get funky, people. I need the Jets to go all in on this player. And all in is a relative term. I'm not talking about like $100 million contract here. It seems like it's a $12 million per year, probably a short deal, like a 2-year deal. Okay. So 2-year 24, 2-year 25. That's around the range to chase this Aaron Rodgers pursuit for a championship. That's what the Jets should do, in my humble abode. That's where the Jets should be going for Tyron Smith. All right, let's get to some of your comments here. Okay, let's go back to the top here. Again, Mike Evans. I will answer any Mike Evans questions here on the show, but we'll go in full depth. I have Trevor Sikkema joining me on Wednesday morning for Boy Green Daily, so guys, stay tuned for that. Dakota says, here it is. If we sign Tyron Smith, Pops is not going to be happy at all. He is not, but it seems like it's quote unquote the end of an era. The only way I've heard that Tyron Smith apparently goes back to the Cowboys if he goes into the free agent market and doesn't have interest, and then he goes back to Dallas. But from everything Ian Rappaport said in his live TV hit during the NFL Combine, he said, he's going to have interest. So we'll see. NY Jets FL, it is the biggest day for the Jets regarding the NFL Combine. It's the big uglies, baby. The offensive line is today, and Robert Saleh flew in yesterday morning for the quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, and then today is the offensive lineman, so the big uglies. So let's get a big gander. It's been great to hear all the quotes, like Fuaga said it would be a dream to block for Aaron Rodgers. Joe Alt said it would be amazing. So I love that these guys are all on board blocking for Aaron Rodgers if they are the selections. Big ugly, says Adam calls them on our YouTube page. That's right, baby. And I want as many of them as possible. I'm up, and Paul A. Eston Sr., I told you. I want to make this clear, people. I want to make this very clear. This Tyron Smith pursuit, if you've been a fan of the show, we've been doing a show every day for like the last year and a half or something. I do it every day at 7:30 in the morning. If you're a fan of the show, you know that I've been on Tyron Smith for a long-ass time as a target for the Jets, and now it's cooking, baby. We are cooking with gas, and I want Tyron Smith. So sorry, Father. It's nice that you're watching this, but we are coming into your house. We're breaking in. We're taking Tyron Smith from you Cowboys fans, and we're plugging and playing him on the blind side for Aaron friggin' Rodgers. I just want you to know that. It's happening. We're doing it. Also, let me just do this. No, I don't know. Maybe someone asked a question about this, but I just want to address this right now. Okay? Because I got some tweets about it yesterday. But Paul, he could be another Dwayne Brown. Shut the hell up. Okay? Dwayne Brown is almost old enough to be Tyron Smith's grandpa, for Pete's sake. Okay? There's a 5-year age gap. This is not a Dwayne Brown. Dwayne Brown was closer to retirement than anything else. Okay, I want to make that very clear. Tyron Smith, let's go through the whole picture. Okay, first off, Tyron Smith is 5 years younger than Dwayne Brown. Significant age gap. Number two, Tyron Smith is coming off one of his best seasons ever. Second team. Well, I don't want to go that aggressive because obviously Tyron Smith has had first team All Pro campaign. So let me back that up. Not one of his best, but like. He's been an 8-time Pro Bowler, two-time first team All Pro, 3-time second team All Pro. So he's just really good. But he's coming off the best pass protecting season of any offensive lineman in the NFL. So that's number two. He's coming off greatness just recently. I'm not talking about like an old guy going on the rocket chair. Let me tell you about the days where I was a significant player in the NFL. No, he was a significant player in the NFL last season. So, number one, he's 5 years younger than Dwayne Brown. Number two, he's still balling, baby. And like I said, number three, the left tackle thing. We need a left tackle. We need a blindside protector for Aaron Rodgers. Speaking of Dwayne Brown, by the way, Captain Dwayne Brown is the reason old Aaron Rodgers' Achilles went boop and popped. Because Dwayne Brown unsuccessfully attempted a cut block that didn't work, and Leonard Floyd came around the edge and grabbed Rodgers. If Dwayne Brown was better at his job, then Aaron Rodgers doesn't pop his Achilles, and God knows what happens. I'm not trying to be a dick here. It was an unfortunate circumstance, but hey, man, let's upgrade left tackle. Let's not throw around these Dwayne Brown references. Just old. Like you're kind of like generalizing. He's kind of old. He's 33. Okay, that's older, but it's not like ancient old, like the White Chicks dust reference. Like, come on, man, let's get real. So I just want to say that. Come on, man. Phil. Well, let me see if I can click this. All right. So we on YouTube. So we want JJ McCarthy to win the Super Bowl Combine. So everyone wants to trade for him. A la spot 10 or ahead of us, so good player slide. Yeah, that's a goal. JJ looked pretty good yesterday. I wouldn't say he was like, the I don't even know if he was the best. Penix looked pretty good. Devin Leary, the former kid from NC State who went to, like, I think Kentucky, he looked pretty solid. But no, but Rappaport, I didn't listen to that TV hit. I just saw the headline from it. Rappaport said J.J. McCarthy might be closer to top 3 quarterbacks than we think or something. So that's kind of interesting. NY Jets FL. I live in Tampa. I'm surprised Mike Evans made it this far, and he will be testing the market based on everything we heard and listening to offers. So dynamic. Again, we'll get more into that on Wednesday, but I'm telling you, that's another one I am aggressively pursuing. Let's keep going here. Snowball, AVT to right tackle. Yep. NY Jets FL again. Still want to look at Mitch Morse, maybe kick Tippmann to guard again. In a perfect world, I think there are plenty of guard options. A lot of really good ones, from the Robert Hunts of the world to Kevin Zeitlers to this, that, and the other. I don't think we have to move Tippmann. If, I'm making this up. If Nick Mangold in his prime, all of a sudden was available for the Jets, okay, Tippmann, move your ass over. I'd be willing to move heaven and earth for a 1% scenario. For any old scenario, like Mitch Morse, with all due respect, I don't think I'm willing to kick Tippmann to guard for Mitch Morse. Again, Kevin Mawai in his prime? Oh, okay. Well, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, whoever this insert center is. Maybe in the draft, right? We talked about this trade back and Austin Powers Johnson or something. Okay, maybe then you could kind of get me to talk. But I don't want to move people in their position for no reason. Mitch Morse is fine, but I think Tippmann's going to be fine at center. Let me see here. That is true. So, Phil, on the first part of what you said, if we get Tyron Smith, then we need a quality backup, of course. I'm not sure Bakhtiari is the quality backup. He's quality, but I don't think reliable. Maybe if you have Tyron Smith, Bakhtiari, I'm trying to think of somebody else, like a George Fant or something. You just want a lot of bodies in the room. So you will have to protect yourself, of course. But let's see. Yeah, AVT and Tyron Smith. That's fair. That could be dangerous offensive tackle play. That's probably true too. Paul A. Esden Sr., my father. The time will tell. If the Jets are serious, if he's in that 12 to 15 mil range and they don't get him, yeah, that would be weird, considering what they were willing to spend on Lakin. That's a fair point. No, Phil, yesterday was quarterback, so you missed it, pal. Sorry. Now, today is offensive lineman. Quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers were yesterday. Fun. And then the 40-yard dash being broken all time. That was so fun. I saw that live, and I was freaking out. That was awesome. Brad on Twitter says, except the fact he doesn't practice and doesn't play more than 13 games per year. 13 out of 17? Not bad. Again, outside of the 2-year random over the last 4 years injuries he's had, he's played 13 years basically every year of his career. I'll take 13 out of 17 of one of the best offensive tackles in the game. Sign me up. I don't know, man. That's just me. John Runyon, yes. I saw that. I did see that one out there. Washed up bust. God, what are you people talking about? Tyron Smith washed up. He's coming off the best year. Well, again, I keep trying to say best year of his career. That's not true. He said first team All-Pro season. He's coming off a really great year. He was a number 1 pass protector by PFF's grades. I'm washed up. I'm sorry, Tony Alexio. I'm not on the washed up bust. I don't really understand that. Boy Graded Sunday, my guy, you never rest. I do not. No, I do not. But no, I have an entire content schedule for tweets and articles on a notepad in front of me here that are that I've already kind of cut up audio and other things. So yeah, we never sleep. Yeah, and I'm hoping with the offensive line, kind of the Tony, the GM, Jets chaos. You build the offensive line with the draft, trades, and free agency. I want you to use Joe Douglas to use every measure at his power, every measure to try to improve the offensive line. Don't let anything go to the wayside. Use free agency, use the draft, use anything. That's really what I want to see here. for the Jets is I want to see that kind of aggressiveness on the offensive line and using it in every measure that you have. That's what I want for the Jets. That's really what I'm looking for from that perspective. So go on in a guy like Tyron Smith, okay, and that's who I want to chase. He is just super talented, and that's someone I want to see. Nick Faria, going back to his reporting, remember we started off the show with that. He called him easily the best offensive tackle that will be available on the market. And he talked about his interesting aggressiveness outside of the health, which obviously he noted here is another one. Let's see. Might be the bigger selling point. Well, either way, I would say that also that's another important factoid in all of this is that, like, again, Tyron Smith is way better than David Bakhtiari. Like, if they're both healthy, he's way better. And he's been more healthy more recently. Like, Bakhtiari has been, like, I mean, obliterated with injuries over the last couple of years. Much worse than Tyron Smith. So, again, that's who I want there. That's who I want there, for sure. Give me Tyron Smith, baby. All right, let's answer a couple of last questions here. What free agent safeties are available? So Connor Rodgers tweeted this out. We'll also do an article on this. His ideal plan to fix safety. He wants to bring back Chuck Clark. I'm all aboard that train. He would have been a big piece for this team, but unfortunately, an ACL injury happened, which is terrible. So bring him back. 1 year, prove it. Cheap deal. Love it. You have Tony Adams, obviously. He's a starter. And then you have a third floating opportunity. Is that draft? That could make sense. Is that Jordan Whitehead on the same deal he had? That's possible. But I kind of like the Tony, or I'm going to Sione Vaki. That's his name. Is the guy Connor Rodgers wants the Jets to draft on day 3 or third round or something. He wants a Vaki. That'd be fun. So yeah. I'd be interested in that. Or just get, like I said, a cheap safety. A lot of people are talking about Cameron Curl. He sounds like he's going to be too expensive out of Washington. If he's cheaper, sure. He doesn't have a lot of interceptions, but he's just a young player coming as a former 7th-round pick. So that would be kind of interesting and not too pricey. But I think he will price himself out of the Jets range. But good question. Rodgers, well, yeah, Snowball says Rodgers doesn't have a blindside. I did hear someone say that yesterday. In terms of Aaron Rodgers, he's just so aware, but that's funny, but also we need a left tackle. That's what I would say. And yes, the Tyron Smith, Mike Evans double tap would be great. So give it to me, baby. Let's go. That's definitely the guy I want is right there for Tyron Smith. So sign me up. Sign me up. That's give me Tyron Smith. That's a player that I think would be a great ad for the Jets. So sign me up for Tyron Smith, plug and play left tackle. He would be the guy. He'd be the answer to the problems. Again, you need depth anyway on top of your starters, but that's where I would go personally with that. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in for Boy Green Daily. Make sure you guys like the video on the way out. Also, hit subscribe. We'll have some more articles out about Tyron Smith, Mike Evans, and the safety position, and a couple of other things that will be coming out. And we'll be back on Mock Draft Monday tomorrow, talking NFL Combine. Dom C joins the program tomorrow morning at 7:30, one of the best in the business, to talk all things draft. Again, Jets, Tyron Smith, make it happen. There are just not a lot of clear left tackle options in free agency in the draft. Trade there is. If you want to go like a Cam Robinson maybe, or you could trade for a Garrett Bowles and shift some offensive line stuff around, but there aren't a lot of answers out there. One answer that looks like it's going to be out there is 1,000% Tyron Smith. Plug and play, one of the best tackles in the game. Get that figured out immediately. That's what I would like to see. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll see you next time here on the channel. Take care.